the chef in the city. Today we're going to be making a couple of raw food recipes. Now that the weather is getting warm, I like to incorporate raw foods into my diet. So today I'd like to share with you a couple of recipes that are quick and easy that you can do in your home. The first recipe that we're going to make together is a raw sunflower seed falafel. I was kind of inspired when I went to Organic Avenue and they have a similar product there, but it's really expensive, so I thought that it would be a great idea to try to make it myself, and I realized that it's pretty quick and simple. So the first thing that you're going to need is 1 cup of sunflower seeds that you've soaked overnight, and so I just soaked it in one of my glass containers here. You'll also need tahini. If you want it to be a 100% raw recipe, you would use raw tahini, but this is what I had in my cabinet, and so I'm trying to make it easy, so that's what I'm using here. I have here 3 tablespoons of fresh squeezed lemon juice. I have 2 cloves of garlic. I have a 1/4 cup of mint that's just very roughly chopped. I have 2 tablespoons of cilantro and cayenne pepper and ground cumin, and then we'll use salt and pepper to taste. So the first thing that you do is that you're going to need to strain the sunflower seeds. You're going to want to strain the liquid. So I'm just going to grab my strainer. And I'll probably just give them a quick rinse. Put this in the food processor. This is a food processor that was handed down from my grandma, and it's even a little bit broken, but it does the job, so. Okay. Now we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of tahini. When you use a food processor, you always want to make sure that the blade is already in and locked, because if it isn't, you'll have a problem because the machine won't start, and then you'll have everything in the machine and you'll have to take it all out and redo the blade, and that's kind of frustrating. There's not a lot of liquid in this recipe too, so you wouldn't want to use a blender because it wouldn't be able to mix it around. That's why I like having a food processor. I use it actually more than a blender. And so this is the 3 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. I'm just going to roughly chop this garlic. It's just 2 cloves, so we just so that it can incorporate more easily. And this is the 1/4 cup of chopped mint. Throw that in. And here's the 2 tablespoons of cilantro. I'm going to do 1 tablespoon of cumin. Just rinse off my tablespoon. I get a lot of my spices and herbs at Trader Joe's. They have a really good selection, but I also do like some. I get some from Whole Foods as well, but you can get them at your local supermarket. And half a teaspoon of cayenne. If you want it a little bit more spicy, you can add a little bit more. That's really up to you. I also encourage tasting as you're making your food because you want to make sure that you like it, and so you can always add more. Okay. And put some salt. Again, that's up to you. I'm going to put about 2 teaspoons of salt. And then I'm going to put some pepper. Probably about half a teaspoon. Okay. So now we're just going to put the lid on. down the sides. Make sure everything is incorporated. So since I noticed that this was a little bit wet, I know that it'll take a lot longer to dehydrate in the oven, and I know that we don't have a lot of time. So something that I have in my refrigerator is almond meal, and that's just almonds that have been ground up either in the Vitamix, or you can buy almond meal, or called almond flour. And so that's what I have here, and I have about 2 tablespoons. I'm going to add it in, process it again, and then it'll absorb the moisture, and then we'll scoop it, put it on the tray, and put it in the oven on the lowest temperature. So now it's time to scoop the falafel, and I have this scooper. I got it at Chef Central, and it's really great because it when you scoop, it just releases it. I use it for a lot of things. So you're going to fill up the scooper, and then just put it on. This is called a Silpat, and it's basically more sustainable parchment paper. So instead of using parchment paper every time, you can just wash and reuse this. It's great for cookies, anything that you just don't want to stick to your pan. There's really no reason to worry about spacing because they're not going to spread. Just want to talk a little bit about the way that we're going to be dehydrating these today. And you don't need a dehydrator. They're expensive and they take up space, and in New York you don't have a lot of room for a lot of appliances. So what you can do is you can just have your oven on the lowest temperature. 170 is the lowest that my oven goes, and I'm just gonna actually crack it open a little bit so it's not at exactly 170 degrees. It'll be a little bit lower. And the thing about dehydrating things is that it does take a while, but as you can see, this recipe was really quick, and then you can go do laundry or, you know, walk the dog or whatever it is that you need to do, you can do while this is dehydrating. So I'm just gonna get a little bit more. I think it's time to get my spatula. We're just going to do a couple more scoops, and then I'm going to put it in the oven. It's going to dehydrate for about 40 minutes. Of course, everyone's oven is different, so you know you just want to check it. I would just check it after half an hour, see how it's doing. If you don't mind it not being raw, which is completely fine, you can actually then just bake it, maybe at 250. And then it would take a little bit less time. But it's really how you like it. It depends how wet you want this to be. I like mine a little bit drier. Okay, so now we're all set. I'm gonna pop it in the oven and check on it in about 35 minutes. So now we're going to make our smoked paprika tahini sauce for our falafel. I actually realized that I didn't explain to you what tahini was. Maybe you don't know. It is just sesame seed paste. So they grind up sesame seeds. So the same way, I guess, like peanut butter, you use peanuts and then you grind them and you make peanut butter. Same thing with sesame seeds. So I have 1/3 cup of tahini, and I'm going to pour it in. And then I'm going to mix it with 3 tablespoons of warm water, because as you can see, it's pretty thick. So I have my water here, 3 tablespoons. Then I have a 1/4 cup of fresh squeezed lemon juice. Whenever you make some kind of dressing, you often want some sort of acid in it, and so I chose lemon juice. We have 1 clove of finely grated garlic. And we'll add about a teaspoon of salt. And smoked paprika. I love smoked paprika because it gives that smoky flavor. It also gives some color, which is really nice. You don't have to use it. You can season it however you like, but this is what I want to put. And I'm just going to put 1/2 teaspoon. It's pretty intense, and I don't want it to overpower the flavor in the falafel. Okay. And then you're going to whisk. Just whisk until it's fully incorporated and nice and smooth. So it's been 40 minutes and the falafel is ready. Just a reminder, the oven was on 170 degrees and for 40 minutes. And as you can see, it's dried out. It's still a little bit moist in the middle, but nice and dry on the outside. And so I made myself a really simple salad to go with this. It's just spinach leaves, shredded carrot, some cucumber. I just put a little bit of olive oil and salt on it because we have the tahini dressing. I'm just gonna put a little bit of pepper, because I love fresh cracked pepper. And then I'll just take 2 of my falafel. Then I'm just going to drizzle some of the tahini dressing over the top. And that's it.